I've got to be honest, I'm running out of video ideas. Part of me feels like it would be cute to do like a how I homeschool my toddlers kind of video. Except I don't have like a full routine or curriculum or anything like that I'm doing right now. Like, I'm just kind of working on, you know, just things throughout the day, like constantly speaking and talking about the things that I'm doing. Like, look, I'm cutting an orange. I'm gonna cut it vertically, then horizontally, and now I'm gonna cut it into little slices, and I'll say, look, it's a crescent. It looks like a moon, or something like that, or I might say, it looks like a smiley face, and just kind of anything that I can say while I'm doing basically anything. I'm like, look, I'm filling up my water bottle. Or I need some ice. Ice is in the freezer. Like, I don't do that all day long, but if the kids are next to me or near me and want my attention, or, you know, are interacting with me, like, because sometimes they're near me where they would be able to hear me, but, you know, they're playing or they're doing something. So sometimes I might get down and interact with whatever they're doing. Sometimes Kinley does not want me to do that. But yeah, and they watch a lot of Miss Rachel, which I know that's TV, but you can even like look it up. There have been like speech therapists who have talked about how valuable Miss Rachel's content is, and how, you know, they don't really apply the content that she creates and uploads as, you know, screen time, because they talk about no screen time before the age of 2 and stuff like that, helping with language development. But they say if the content they're watching is similar to like a FaceTime, so you know, like talking to the viewer like I'm doing right now, this is similar to like a FaceTime. And that's what Miss Rachel does. She's talking to the kids, singing them songs, showing them how to do certain things. Oh my gosh, look at this. I self-tan and I forgot to wash my hands, and it got stuck under my wedding ring. Oh my gosh, can it focus? Hudson is 2 years old. He just turned 2. If you want, you can check out his like birthday video. We vlogged his 2nd birthday, and we also vlogged Kinley's 3rd birthday, which was a half month later, 2 weeks later. They're 9.5 months apart, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. They're 9.5 months apart. So I have less of a fear that anything bad could go on between the two of them. I also have cameras in their room and audio. I can also talk through the cameras. I can see them at all times. We moved the camera to a certain angle so I could legitimately see the entire room. We finally found a lock for the closet in that room that has actually kept them from being able to get inside. Thank goodness, because there is like ugly stuff on there from previous child-proof stuff that we'd been trying that did not work, that Kinley just broke through. I need to like use a blow dryer to heat it up or something. I've tried taking it off and it is so hard to take off. I have been honestly amazed. They have become so much closer. They're so much more patient with one another. They've started playing together, which is a huge step for Kinley. Also, for those of you who don't know, Kinley has autism. She's my 3-year-old, and one of her biggest difficulties and struggles is in the social realm and communication. So seeing her actually interact with another kid and play and laugh and have fun hasn't happened before. And so this is very new and exciting. Maybe I can start doing my makeup and I can do, you know, some more chatty, like a chatty get ready with me. I can update you on some more stuff that's going on in our lives, since that was kind of an update. You want me to use this primer? I could use it. My toddler picks my makeup. How about that? I'm gonna use this eyeshadow palette. Well, perfect. That's mommy's favorite right now. Is that fun? Wow. That is definitely too dark for me right now. Well, I don't know what to do. I mean, this is a powder foundation. Hello? I used this like just as a powder the other day, but I haven't used it just like on its own. Powder. Should I try it? Should I try it with the sponge? I'm gonna try this Air Spun loose powder. It's in Naturally Neutral. I'm hoping because it's much more, it's like almost white. Maybe I can even out my skin tone with this. Now I'm going to spray my face. Because that was a heck of a lot of powder. Guys, I forgot to put sunscreen on. Alright, Physicians Formula. Okay, so let's chat. I have some tea. I am no longer taking birth control. I no longer have any form of birth control. I don't have an IUD. I don't have Nexplanon. I'm not taking the, what are they called? Depot shot? Something like that. Why, you ask? So I started researching a lot about birth control and the effects that it has. Yeah. Buzz Lightyear? So we started researching more about what, you know, how birth control affects our bodies hormonally, and like I started learning that it affects us so much more than just hormonally, like there's such a high risk for like blood clots and stroke, and the risk is actually like a lot higher. Like you'll hear that in like other medications are like, you know, you could have a stroke or a heart attack and blah blah blah, but it's like no, like it's actually very very common, very likely, I guess, to happen. This is real life, guys. This channel ain't nothing fake over here. See my desk right now. All right, so now that my makeup is done and my son is taking a nap, I can finally sit down and talk to you guys about all the birth control stuff. So I was finding out about all of the, you know, chemical imbalances and hormonal imbalances and stuff like that that occur in our bodies when we're on hormonal birth control, which is all of them. IUD, Nexplanon, the Depot shot, the pill, all of it is all hormonal birth control. So, and, you know, it talks about, you know, having cranky moods and feeling snappy and impatient, and it can also take away like your ability to feel emotions in appropriate, normal degree, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't let you feel fully. And you know, like if you used to be a crier, watch movies and stuff and they can make you cry, birth control can stop that, because it can kind of, you could still feel the emotion of, oh, that's so cute, or this is so sad, or this makes me so happy, or whatever, but then not be able to feel it enough to cry, if that makes sense. No, it's super random. It is also extremely common for it to completely destroy your libido. And that was something that was really difficult for me. I'll just say it straight up. And that's probably the biggest reason I decided to get off, because it happened to me at such an extreme degree that it was really having a negative impact on my marriage. So that was one of the biggest reasons that I decided to get off of it. And it's been probably like 45 days at this point. And I've had 2 periods since getting off, because the day I decided to stop taking it was like when my period was like about to start anyway. So I had that, and then I just finished my second period 2 days ago. I also didn't know that when you're on birth control, your periods are not actually periods. Like you're not actually menstruating or having a period. I can't even remember exactly what is happening or why, and I didn't know that. So it's kind of interesting. And something that I've heard that's pretty common is, you know, symptoms that you had throughout your period and PMSing and all that stuff prior to taking birth control, that those things are likely to come back. However, they can be different. If you've been on birth control for like 20 years, then your body's like completely different at that point, and you can totally experience different PMS symptoms, or you can have the same ones that you had before. I'm supposed to drink 6 liters of water a day, which is more than, well, 6 liters of electrolytes a day. So that's more than a gallon, if you don't know. And if it's just water, my body still will not be hydrated enough. It will not get the electrolytes that it needs. So I actually have an electrolyte powder that I add to my drinks. I drink Propel a lot. I don't really like to do like Gatorade or Powerade, even the zero ones. Because I don't like sugar, but I know there's a zero option, but there's still like food coloring and other stuff in it that I just don't want. And so I typically opt for Propel. And not to say that I never have food coloring or those things. I definitely do. I literally, in my top drawer here on my desk, I have a box of this Crystal Light that's gonna even show you. I had to like put it in front of my face. And this has yellow 5 in it. Oh, and red 40. Ooh. But yeah, the Crystal Light, I don't drink that for anything for health reasons. It's just, I like the flavor and caffeine. And so that's kind of like, that's probably that. And then occasionally diet sodas are probably the worst things that I drink, but it's not on a regular basis. I have water and Propel, and I have been starting to drink coffee lately. I'm kind of rambling on a lot of things. I kind of got off the birth control topic, but yeah, so we're doing natural family planning birth control method. So I am tracking my cycle. I'm using the app called Flow. This is not sponsored by them. Wish it was. Reach out to me. I've been using your app for like 4 years. Love it. But I track my cycle on there, and you track the days that you're having sex. You track the you know, you can track all sorts of things. You can track whether you exercised or not that day, because sometimes that can have an effect on certain things or how you slept. There's, you know, birth control pill reminders if you do take them. Obviously I, you know, took that part off of mine, because you can customize what kind of things you want to log. You don't have to do all of the ones that are on there, and you don't have to see all of them. If you're like, I'm not going to be tracking a pill, you can totally remove that one. And then if later you are, you can bring it back. It's kind of cool. So I have, you know, the days that I've had sex, I have that one. When you're on your period, it has you track whether you're having like a light, medium, or heavy flow. It has you track cervical mucus. I have my mood. So, you know, there's one that just has all different types of moods. If you had mood swings that day, if you were feeling like, there's one that says like self-critical. There's like happy, calm, there's frisky, stuff like that. And then I have another one that's just kind of like bodily stuff. So if you have bloating, if you're like struggling to go to the bathroom, or if you're going to the bathroom too much, it has, there's some other things it has. Oh, like if you're getting acne, or if you have back aches, headaches, stuff like that. You log those things. And what's cool is after a period of time, if you're good at logging all of this stuff, it can predict what kind of things you're going to experience. So it might tell you like, hey, you might experience a headache today, stuff like that. Or, you know, it's predicted that you're gonna be happy and frisky today or something like that. And it's really cool. And I mean, I guess like subconsciously, like maybe your body wasn't gonna get a headache, but because the app said, hey, we're predicting you might get a headache today, and then you like just fully convince your brain that you're gonna get a headache, and you just give yourself one. That's probably a risk. Anyway, it's a really cool app. So I just track everything, and because there's only a certain amount of days in a month where you can get pregnant. You can't get pregnant like every single day of the month. So you just track it, and then I know like exactly when I'm fertile and when I'm ovulating, and I either don't have sex on those days, or, you know, if you're struggling to control yourself, I use a condom. So I know it's kind of like TMI, but it's like, I just want to be real on my channel. I want to be an open book. I want to be relatable. I want people to be able to be like, oh my gosh, like there's actually somebody on the internet where they're not just like, you know, flashing all of their super amazing, like luxurious lifestyles, and it's not someone, which I'm not saying that there's anything bad about those things, because I enjoy looking at those. They make me like dream and have big goals to like strive for things like that one day, which I like because it motivates me to do more and to, you know, all that stuff. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it can turn toxic if you know, depending on how you like process seeing all of that, and how much you take in of all of that content. So I just want to be someone on the internet where it's just like, oh my gosh, why doesn't anybody else talk about like all of these mental health issues? Or why doesn't anybody else talk about like problems with like sex and marriage? And why doesn't anybody else talk about all of these questions that they're having in the church and or with their faith? And hi, beautiful. Anyway, Colin and I do not want to get pregnant. That was a very big concern. It took, you know, I thought it was going to take a lot more convincing than it did. But really what I kind of did was, when I was listening to content about people who, you know, how much they changed after getting off of birth control, and, you know, other videos about when they talk about like the effects that it has on your body that people don't tell you about. I would kind of like play those while he was around so he could be listening to it, like before I even mentioned wanting to do it. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting, huh? And he's like, yeah, that is interesting. So when I actually brought up the topic, I think, you know, he had already been hearing stuff about it from videos I was watching, and that's kind of how I approached the subject. But with the whole libido thing being, you know, such a huge part of, you know, the difficulties we had been having in our marriage, you know, he was really on board to try it out and, you know, just make sure that we're being really careful and safe. Because we do not want to have 3 babies. Isn't he just catching you guys up with everything? By the way, I don't think I mentioned this, but the whole birth control thing and the libido, like just being off of it for like 45 days at this point, like there's already been an insane increase. And again, I know it's kind of like TMI, but like my libido is freaking through the roof. It's like when my husband and I were dating again, and it's like, you know, believing that, you know, we can't have sex until we're married. And so like that tension of having to avoid it and having all of that excitement feels like that sometimes now. And that's, you know, really helped my marriage a lot, because that was not happening before. I was having a lot of, you know, trauma responses and flashbacks to things that happened to me when I was younger, and it was extremely hard. I'd end up crying, all kinds of stuff, and I don't experience that anymore, and now things are amazing and wonderful, and I am crying again, which I love. Like, I'm listening to music that I just can feel so deeply, and I'm in tears, and I just emotionally connect with people and things on such a deeper level now, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It is like making me realize, like I didn't even realize until I was able to feel these feelings again. I didn't realize that while I was on birth control, I was like a zombie almost. Like I was just kind of like going through life, and like I obviously had feelings, but they were so just like on such a smaller scale, where now everything I feel so much bigger and so much deeper, and I love it, and it's been a beautiful thing. So yeah, I don't really know what this video is going to end up being, but in case it just ends up being this whole chit-chatty type of video, hope you liked it. I hope you keep watching more of my videos. You can check out Hudson's 2nd birthday, Kinley's 3rd birthday. You can check out all my faith crisis videos. You can check out, you know, I have a whole video where I'm talking about, you know, my childhood trauma, if you're interested in that. So yeah, check those out. Go watch more videos and subscribe if you're not. Thank you guys. See ya.